Hey guys, let's do this problem together. It says a teacher wrote this expression on the board. What is the value of this expression? All right, so make sure you go ahead and rewrite the expression as I've done here. It looks like we have multiplication, so -6 times 2, the parentheses mean to multiply. We have addition, and we have division. So when doing these types of problems with mixed operations, we want to make sure that we're following order of operations, also known as GEMDAS. So I know from GEMDAS that multiplication and division come before the addition. And even with multiplication and division, I know that I do whichever one comes first from left to right. So according to GEMDAS, I'm going to do the multiplication, then the division, then the addition. All right, so -6 times +2. Well, I know regular 6 times 2 is going to be 12. So I'm going to put a 12 here. But I also need to make my MD circles for this multiplication because it involves a negative number. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the side. I'm going to draw my MD circles, also known as Mickey Mouse. And I'm actually going to do 2 of those because I also have my division problem. So I'm going to do another one down here at the bottom for my division problem. Okay. All right, so we know 6 times 2 is 12, but -6 times +2. All right, so I'm going to mark out one negative because of -6 and one positive because of +2. And I'm left with a negative, so that means that this answer is -12. I'm going to bring down my plus sign because I'm not going to do that yet. And then I'm going to move on to my division problem. -8 divided by 4. Well, I know that 8 divided by 4 is 2. I'm going to put the 2 here. But we have to decide on the sign. Okay, so because of -8, I'm going to mark out one negative. And because of +4, one positive. I'm left with the negative. So that means that this answer is -2. Okay, and now I'm going to add -12 plus -2. With the adding, we do not use the Mickey Mouse or the MD circles. We use the T-chart. So on your paper, go ahead and draw a T-chart. Okay, on the right, we have our positives. On the left, we have the negatives. Okay, so this means that all the negative numbers will go in the left column and all the positive numbers will go in the right column. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle these numbers with the sign to the left so that I know what sign goes with the number. Okay, so I know now that both numbers are negative, -12, -2, so they go in the negative column. Okay, if you have numbers that are in the same column, if they're the same sign, we're going to add them. Okay, so if they're the same column or the same sign, we are going to add them and keep the sign. If they're in different columns, you would subtract and keep the sign of whichever number is further from 0. But in this case, we're going to add. So 12 plus 2 is 14. And we're going to keep the sign, and it's negative. So the final answer is going to be -14. Then we put it into this griddable, all right? And remember, with all integers, okay, if it's just an integer, it's not a decimal, okay, the decimal is going to be at the far right of the number. Even though we don't see it, it is there to the right of the 4. So when we place it into this griddable, it will look like this. Okay, right next to the decimal, to the left of the decimal. Also, make sure you mark it as a negative. Okay? All right, make sure you copy that down on a piece of paper, and thank you very much for your participation.